Hear me, y'all. People do things intentionally to get a rise out of you, right? People do things intentionally to try to start an argument. And sometimes in that argument, especially if you're dating, they use that as an escape to go outside and do what they want to do, right? When they had it planned out all the time. So I don't know why some of us are so naive and just think that they're so mad and they just got to walk away. No, we're adults. We know how to argue. We know how to stay in the room. We know how to sit down. We know how to get past. We should know how to do these things, right? But let me tell you what you can do. And it works in family. It works in friendship. It works at work. It works in dating. And it works in marriage, right? And the one thing that anybody and everybody can do, and it has great impact, you know what it is? You figured it out yet? Okay, let me help you out. It's called be quiet. Just be quiet. That is the hardest thing for us to do when somebody gets up under our skin, when somebody rubs us the wrong way, when somebody says something to us that we don't like, right? Or we're in the presence of a situation that makes us very uncomfortable. The hardest thing for us to do is to be quiet. But that is the greatest thing that you can do. Silence. Silence is your friend. Let me tell you. When you're in a noisy room and you just stop in the middle of that room and you close your eye and you are just quiet, right? You get to pick up on energy you never thought you would have picked up on. You get to hear things that you never thought you would hear. You get to even see things that if you hadn't been talking, you hadn't been involved in conversation with somebody else, you would have missed it. All the times we don't need to make the noise. We just don't. Sometimes it's important for us to stand, walk, and sit in silence, right? Silence is best so the Lord can even talk to you. Silence is best so you can hear and you can understand. You can't get the full understanding when you're screaming and you're yelling at each other. That's just not how that works. But I'm telling you, silence is a beast, right? In arguments, if you are silent and all of a sudden you just stop talking and all of a sudden you just stop responding, then the person to whom you are arguing with is going to look at you real strange and funny. And they're going to wonder why all of a sudden you're quiet. You ain't never been quiet before. You always got something to say. Sometimes we have to do things that's out of the norm, right? And when you do things that's out of the norm, it has the greatest impact. It gets the best attention because you're not operating out of emotions and your feelings. Now, whether you realize it or not, this is when you have the best control. And if you can operate without letting somebody take you off your square or taking you out of character or taking you out of yourself, and you can just stop and be quiet, oh, baby, that's a game changer right there. That is a game changer. Whether you're arguing with family members, whether you are arguing with a friend, whether you're arguing with a coworker, whether you're arguing with somebody you're dating or even you're married to. Sometimes, I'm telling you, you need to try it. Just use silence. Don't change your face. Don't roll your eyes. Don't let your nostrils flare open. Don't get the crook in your neck or you're popping and forward. Just sit there in silence. Just be quiet. Because, see, you know what? People are not going to argue by themselves. And air is too precious to waste. So when you're arguing, when you're screaming, when you're yelling, Your blood pressure rise, your heart rate rise, the veins in your face and your neck rise. And it takes you more time to calm down from all that stuff. It takes you more time. And sometimes you ain't able to do it because you're so angry, you don't know what to do with yourself. But I promise you, if you exercise control, just like breathing, right? You exercise control and allowing somebody to take you out of your element and just be silent. And sometimes you really want to get them. Be silent with a smile and just sit there and just look. Oh, baby, that is going to send that person over the edge. They're going to start yelling and screaming and don't respond. Just use that silence. That's all you got to do. Y'all should try it. Because let me tell you, air is precious. Life is too short. You don't give yourself a stroke and a heart attack, yelling and screaming. And 9 times out of 10, you don't get no resolution, and neither do you get your point across, because ain't nobody heard a thing. So practice being quiet. It's a good thing.